Good morning. Hello. Halfway through the week. Uh, Today's going to end up being a slightly shorter stream than usual. It's Wednesday, and I have to head out of the house in about an hour, 58 minutes or so. Around 7 o'clock, 7:15, I have to get out in order to make it to work on time. I have an early meeting on Wednesdays too. And Wednesday is the day that I go into the office, so it's like actually leaving to go in. Not like the other days where I work remote from home. And that's a shorter commute. I just walk upstairs and ready to go. So let's get into it. Let's see what we can do. So I ran our test. This crit account a test failed. Oh, it's just this one. Firefox keeps on consistently failing once, and then if I run it on its own, it runs. If I run it together, no, that works too. Okay, so I do know that in Playwright you can set it to rerun multiple times in the case that there's a failure. Wonder if we should do that. Try to set that up for in the case make that work or something. Or maybe that should just be in CI/CD. Okay. We can create an account. So can create an account. I can mark the preview article completed. Oh, and can create an account. I know what it is. It's the there's a button there. So if we look at this, we're not logged in. We go to our courses. We go to our courses, we go to this course, we preview it, we open an article, and then we have this login to purchase here. Now, previously, I think we clicked on the article, right? And that brought us to this. So we can, in this test, go straight to the article, and that should work. So I want to go essentially to here. This is course. I guess we'll put this all under course access. Okay, course access. Can create an account. Okay, so here's our stub. And I want to, I guess we'll get rid of the extra. There we go. Okay, so before each page, okay, so we have the intercept GraphQL. I want to go to, so wait, page dot. Go to that, except it's not going to be exactly the same thing. I think it's, okay, we want to go to course number ID 2, article number 1. So if I just do that, I think I need to like check, like do something, because it doesn't show the preview in there, but I think it just ends as soon as we get there. Ooh, you know what? I can make it. that might make it work. Okay, there we go. So now we can see, here's the article. And then I want that login to purchase. So I guess that's not, it's not create account, it's login. So log into purchase, button visible, and so it's this might be a grouping of tests. So if I do test.describe into purchase, okay, so I want the login to test is purchase. Okay, so the login to purchase. So login to purchase button is visible when logged out. Togglebit rating with a party of 117. Welcome, 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 Togglebit. Always with the raid one. It does feel like that, but totally understand. So hello and goodbye, Togglebit. Thank you again for the raid. They wrapped. How was Toggle raid? How was the raid? I guess like everybody who came from Togglebit. Tell me what Togglebit was working on, and how did it go? They wrapped. Hello, Rumil. Hello, Arkansas. Not sure if it's a 6 or an 8, but good morning. Well, good morning to you as well. They wrapped. Thank you so much for the gift sub to Togglebit. Thank you for that. Pika program, hello. Made it just in time for the raid. Absolutely, you did. Diablo D3, hello. He worked, Scott B, hello. He worked on generics, trait bound, arc, box, and mutex. Is this part of his TUI, the TUI framework, or is it just sort of like he was working on those in general? And bunny pictures. I mean, those are the most important part, right? Oh, he was doing teaching. Nice. Excellent. Okay, so he was basically just working on those specifically on their own, isolated. Oh, that's always fun. I have a really hard time coming up with good teaching examples for generics because every time I go to like do something with that, it's like, well, when do I really like each example I use is very contrived and like doesn't feels too forced to be like a good example. So I'm never really sure what I want to do. All right. Well, today what we're working on here is we use browsers. Interesting. Okay. Browsers. Like browsers is like a VM that's running stuff, or maybe something else. I do have to use generics in my U component library, which runs on a browser. So maybe that's a good example. It just brings in something like that's requires you more information because like you need to know the context that it's working in. All right. Well, anyways, welcome everybody. This is the Brooks Build stream. I do this every weekday morning. Today is Wednesday, which means I go into the office a little bit earlier. So we're only going to go until around 7 a.m. today. So that's like another 45 minutes or so. I I'm working on testing. So we're working on we're using a framework called Playwright, which allows us to run tests. The language that we write for those tests are TypeScript, and then it controls it controls a browser like this. And it's nice because it actually kind of controls all three browsers that we want in here, which is great. So the actual application that we're testing is written in Rust and U, and is running on my local system as well. And so the feature we're testing right now is this is a button that we want that if we're not logged in and we go in, and it's an LMS, so it's a learning management system. It's for teaching or learning. If you as like a potential learner comes in, previews a course, goes into an article, you can see this, and then there's this big button up here to say, hey, okay, you want to purchase this course, you want to get access to the entire thing, you'll have to log in to purchase it. And then this button should take you to the login page. So that's what this is for. So login to purchase button is visible when logged out. We want to go to this course access 1. Wait until the network is idle. Then I want to get that button. So let's do a const. This is the login button. Yeah, the login button is going to be equal to page dot get by role. I think it's actually a link behind the scenes. Dota, hello. We have end-to-end tests at work. They're in a strongly mixed bag. Probably get as much value from them forcing us to define requirements as we do from the actual test. That's actually one of the big reasons for like tests, is to like make sure you know what exactly you're building before you build it. Because it's kind of surprising that we end up doing that a lot as engineers. It's like, okay, build this thing. It's like, okay, how is it supposed to work? It's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the specifics. Just make it work like that, and we'll tell you if you're right or wrong later. Kind of like feels that, okay, what if we like make you, as in we the engineers, make you the product and the product director, the client, the whatever, you help us write the tests. End-to-end tests fail so often it's hard to trust them. That is a bad sign. Something that Playwright does pretty good that I like so far is that in CI/CD at the very least, you can configure it to rerun the test n number of times. So in this case, I'll be able to say like, hey, rerun the test 3 times. If it fails 3 times in a row, it's probably a problem. And then I don't need to go in and like manually rerun it to see like, okay, does it work this time? And then also I'm experimenting with doing a intercepting this time. So instead of like, okay, make sure that the database and everything else is like spun up and actually working, it's like, okay, no, it just intercepts and sends it off. We're testing the application itself, not the database. We're not making sure to connect that. You're not sure that's the answer. My unit tests just aren't flaky. Anyway, I do believe in end-to-end tests, just written very sparingly and not relied on for deploys or anything similar. So here's the problem with not having end-to-end tests, is that we could have a whole bunch of unit tests, and that's testing each individual piece of the application. But each piece could be working, and then the entire app could not be working, right? Because they might not have integrated together properly. And that's why we need end-to-end tests that test everything. So, for example, and I'm not suggesting that we don't have any unit tests, but if I had to make a decision, unit tests or end-to-end tests, I would probably choose the end-to-end test because that would actually give me confidence that the system works. Whereas only unit test doesn't let me know that everything works together. Socialable tests were solve what you're talking about. Their solutions to this common argument. Well, I mean, they should still be automated. That's the big thing. It's like they need to be automated. Manual tests of like somebody going in and clicking on it to like make sure that the things work is not a good idea long term. It's too expensive and too slow. But yeah, like I've been trying to figure out better ways of doing testing for a long time now. Oh yeah, and like I might use the word end-to-end test wrong sometimes. I sort of like mix them back and forth with like end-to-end, integrated, like GUI and UI. I'm not really sure. Um, like in this case, it's probably like what I'm calling end-to-end is probably actually truly just an integration test of the app itself, and that's all it really is. Dumel Roy, hello. You prefer integration tests over unit or end to end? Yeah, that's probably what I'm actually doing here, and that yeah, I like those more. You're right. Your unit test is individual units, but also combinations of uses. So that's like to me, that's like a new word that is somewhere between a unit and an integration test, and that gives me more confidence in the system working as a whole. Um, Temporis, hello. Yeah, unit tests run each build, test a unit, are quick, have no external dependencies. Integration tests test multiple units, function together, and end to end make sure that the inputs of the system create the outputs expected. Yes, and then in the browser environment has the also like unique ability to say like can you actually like see and do the things that you want to do. Have I used Fast Check before? It's been my favorite add to your testing stack in a long time. No, I haven't looked at Fast Check before. Well, let's take a look at that. Property-based testing framework for JavaScript TypeScript. So when it's property-based check-ins, a property of statement like for all XY, such as preconditional holds predicate XY is true. Is this runtime? Because if it would have to be runtime, right? Otherwise, I would imagine so. Otherwise, there's no point to using it with TypeScript. Fuzz testing. Oh, so you're basically okay. So it's not just like the properties are the right type. It's like, hey, if I send in random different stuff, how does it handle it? Okay, yeah. I haven't used too much fuzz testing besides some like the random libraries that I create random data sometimes. Okay, that's cool. I will. I'm not logged in. By that definition, you only believe in end-to-end and unit testing. Um, you didn't realize how many edge cases you were missing, even with TypeScript, till you started using FC. Oh, interesting. Okay. Integration testing for websites would still require an in-browser test framework in JavaScript. Yeah, that's a also a really good point, especially with like we're using Rust or something. How do I know that like it's working properly? And then there's something else that's like I think a lot of people forget about. We want to do production testing too. So it's one thing to know that okay, before I deploy, is the thing working the way I expect it to? It's also another thing to say, okay, is this very hour the system working as expected? I should, if you can run those tests against production, that gives you the like super good confidence, and then you mix that with like some kind of status page, and now you can like have really good confidence that the system act like works in general for all the cases that you're aware of, and then any edge cases that customers find can just be Okay, congratulations, you found a bug. We get to fix it now. And then that gets added to the test suite. Okay, Dodo, you're just getting to the front end now. You don't know how to test it at all. If it is browser front end, it feels like Playwright is winning the big front end testing battle right now. So this is Playwright. It is interesting. You get to write TypeScript for it. It seems to be happy. I like it a lot. Arkin, I I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not because it totally could be. Prod dashboards, oh yeah, gotta have them. Okay, so we've got here. So let's see. Uh, we got okay. So cool course 3. So we're loaded into there. Um, so we go in. We go to this. And then I want to check to see if the button is there, right? So, login. Okay, so login to purchase button is visible when logged out. So I want to go to that page, wait until the network is idle. Login. Okay, so we're going to grab the login button. So we want to const await page that get by role. So this is going to be a link with the name. Well, it's not a name. So they look around and you see this log on to purchase. So let's do log into purchase. So we get that. And then what I can do is every time I hit save, it... Okay, this one. Log into purchase button. It tries to rerun this. Okay, so we're good. Although it didn't run the code for this, did it? It just got this. I need to do something with this for it to, like, I think show me that it's actually, I need to see an action for it. Let's see. Dota, you're heading to work. Well, thank you for hanging out today, Dota. Have a great day at work. You're mainly a backend dev. You only use Postman. Yes, like Postman is great as a tool to make sure that like one side of things are working. Something I've been trying to figure out is and I've recently learned a name for this, which is called boundary testing. So imagine that you have a bunch of applications. We have a front end application, we have a back end application. Maybe we have like 2 or 3 different front end applications, and they're all sort of like subtly different. So, and then we have full testing on all of those pieces. But if we wanted to do an end-to-end test, we test like, okay, test from the front end and have it actually hit the back end, do something, affect the database, come back, go back to the front end, check to make sure that it worked, and then maybe even like log into the database from the test and look in there. I don't like that. That's what I've done historically, but it is really prone to breaking, like we've been chatting about. But boundary testing is this idea of saying, okay, I'm going to test, do what I'm doing here, which is I'm not going to actually let the traffic leave the app. I'm just going to intercept everything and just pretend that the server touched it. But we're going to have the server touch it or touch it. We're going to have the server respond in a way that like we all agree is supposed to be how it works. and then we're also going to have a series of tests for the boundaries. Like, okay, this application asks for it in this specific way. Like, these are the APIs it's trying to hit. Okay, that system, if you hit these APIs, responds with these things in reality. And then that way, theoretically, you are now like good to go. The tests are faster. They run almost instantaneously with no delay, and then also you know that everything's going to work. That's the idea between it, but I've not really done it for real yet. I want to dive into it though. Okay, when you do front end, you test the browser with the inspect tools, which is perfectly fine. Like that's a very valid way to test. It just is a more manual test, so it takes too long to do. Front end testing community essentially doesn't exist. I don't agree with that. They definitely exist. Arkansas, you're a she, by the way. Well, I'm sorry about that. I will attempt to remember that. Um, Diablo boundary testing should be done more often. What you're seeing right now is awesome. Oh, for like these tools, yeah, they're so awesome. We're all crabs. Well, I mean, it's true. We came from like Togglebit stream, this stream. We're all crabs. Postman always seems like overkill when you can use almost any unit test framework to write tests against HTTP endpoints. It does feel like that, doesn't it? There is an argument to potentially just like writing up a curl script and just running that. But if you put that inside of like CI/CD, that's kind of like a decent test. Like, okay, it does the thing that I'm expecting it to, and if I give it these inputs, we get these outputs, and that's perfectly fine. In the end, the entire point of all of this is to make sure that our apps work. And that's all that really matters. Like, we're not writing tests because somebody told us to write tests. We're writing tests because we want the systems to actually work and do what they claim to do. I think sometimes we kind of forget that. And then next thing we know is like, oh, we're just doing that because we're checking a box on the, like, is it done? There's always Insomnia. I've not used Insomnia. I heard about it, but I skipped that. I remember people talking about it. Okay, so I've got access to the login button. It didn't this didn't yell at me, so I think it ran. It just didn't do anything. So then I want to click on it. So I want to await login button. We're gonna click on it. And then I want to make sure that I also want to make sure that it is visible here. So we're going to expect that the login button to be visible. Okay, so we expect it to be visible. Then I want to click on it. And then I want to expect that our URL to match. And we want to go to slash to auth login. So really just login would be fine for this. That's what I want to see. Oh, that failed. Demoroy, you love Insomnia. You're using it right now. Oh no, Temporis, you're on 3 days straight of just 4 hours sleep. I'm so sorry about that. That really sucks. I hope that you're able to get into sleep. Um, medito Melatonin. That'd be a good name for an insomnia util or assistant. Actually, that would be probably. Actually, it exists. Okay, so REST API testing tool for Go. Okay, Dev would name their own project after what they've had for. Um, there's there's so many projects out there that are puns because that's what I'm guessing that's just what we love, right? Like we love doing puns on based upon anything. Um, and it's all based upon the framework too, right? You'll eventually just need to pass out for a bit. It just sucks in the meantime. Yeah. It's I did have a period of time where I had that problem where I was waking up so many times. Like I would get to sleep and then I would just wake up a couple hours later. And so I would like take 8 hours in a night and I would get like 4 hours of sleep. Maybe like 4 hours of quality sleep. And it sucked. So I'm sorry about that. Uh, okay, so back to this. What's going on? We expect this login button to be visible. It's waiting 5 seconds for it to be visible, but wasn't. It's literally right there. So, okay, get by role. So this didn't find it. So link, login to purchase. This did not find anything. Okay, so pick locator. So tell me. Oh, it's a button, not a link. That's why. Okay. Let's change that to a button and try this again. There we go. Okay, so now it passes. So we got the link. We click it, and we expect us to match. Now we're in the login page, and so we are. And that is okay. So login to purchase button, visible and logged out. Great. Now later on, when I go through the testing passes when I'm logged in as various different types of users, then I can check to make sure that the button doesn't exist and it's not visible. Okay. We can mark preview articles completed. So that's going to be going to the preview course, and then I want to be able to click the button and it should take me to the next article. That's the idea here. So this might also be something that's like a group of tests. I'm not completely sure yet. So let's go ahead and change you. All right. First things, we'll do that. Oh, wait. Page dot go to. Courses to access 1. Oh, and I keep on forgetting I have to do this wait until network idle. Oh, I literally did that right there. Okay, never mind. Wait until, okay, so that, then what do I need to do? I need to, once I go there, I want to click the button and then I want to go to the next article. So, wait, page dot get by roles. This is, I believe, a button. Oh, come on. by button with the name. And the name is complete article. Oh, and then I want to click it. Once I click it, then we want to be over in the other thing, right? So we want to await page dot. We probably want to expect that we're in the next URL. So expect page dot URL to match. I want to match course articles. So I think we're in article 1. I think this is article 3 now, but I don't remember anymore. We actually have end-to-end tests, a GraphQL interceptor, API get all the data. So we're logging in as this user, and or like we're getting the data for this user, and we have course trailers. So this is preview true, false, and then true. This is going to be article 3, ID 3. So yeah, that should have 3 in the URL. I don't need to go on you anymore, and I want you. Playwright in the AUR repository, a blessing from our gods. Thank you for making me discover it. It's good. It's very different. It's a different way of testing. So if you ever done like Cypress, or what was the other one? It was like I put it out of my mind because I didn't like it so much. The one that came with the one that was used like the Java server, Selenium. Have you ever used Selenium or Cypress? It's like very similar to that, but it flips the script around, and it's a different philosophy of testing. It's like you may notice I'm not like testing every element on the page, because that's not the point. The point is, what are the actions that a user going to do, and do it like that. And that's it. That's all. And then can they do that? Think about hosting your own Pacman repo for published packages of anything you write. You should probably write something worth publishing first. Like I just throw so many things up onto GitHub. I have so many repos that are half finished, or I have some that don't even have anything in them because I created the repo and then didn't write any code. Okay, so expect you to match. When I clicked on that, so wait, what happened? I was here before and then after. Oh, so I don't think that did anything. Hold on, so what this is the actual one. So this is the hosted one with an actual database connected to it. When I click on this, it doesn't do anything. Great. Okay, does it have an error? I think it does. Okay, so, oh yeah. Missing user cannot mark article as read. So there's a couple ways I can fix this. I could cheat and just say, hey, if you're not logged in, you don't get the complete article button. I could make it a next article. I think I want to. Oh, I could also make it disabled. I could make it disabled if you're not logged in. I kind of like that idea more. So what I want to do, so I guess we'll do a little bit of test-driven development here. We'll write the test first. So we can, I guess let's do this as a group too. So test.describe. This is complete article button. Okay, so complete article button. And then you are gonna say is disabled when it as a visitor. When viewing as a visitor. Okay, so we go to this thing, we get the complete article, and then I don't want this to, okay, so this can't click. I want to const, this is gonna be the complete article button equals that. I expect that the complete article button, instead of to match, I want this to be, then this is disabled to be true. That's what I want. Okay, so complete article button is disabled when viewing as a visitor. Now this one will be not true. So is disabled to be true, expected to be true, but received nothing. Oh, okay. I think I need to await it. There, okay, so expected to be true, received false. So that's not actually disabled. So what I want to do now is we have to go into the code. So this is the course access. Okay, so course access article. So this is you. I don't know if Togglebud has shown this on his stream, but it is it's based on React. So if you're familiar with React, it's pretty much like very, 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 very similar. It should be fairly simple to get into if you ever want to try it. They have function components and they have the struct components. He only shows bunny rabbits. Okay, well, fair. It should look very similar to React. So we define our properties coming in as an object, essentially, as a struct. And that gives us our typings, like our strong Rust typings that we all love. I define a function component. I have not found any times where I cannot use a function component, and I have to use the equivalent of a struct component, or sorry, the equivalent of a class component, which would be a struct component. And then, which is good because apparently the community has gone from every example being a struct component to now every example being a function component with no examples of struct components, which is not great because a lot of documentation showed struct components for years. So now everybody who's a beginner who looks at like an old blog will find ways of doing stuff that you just can't, just like don't even have in the documentation anymore, which sucks. Okay, so we're using a centralized store system. This one is called Udux. We have a navigator. It has like all the normal stuff, and then the rest of it, like there's even use effect hooks. Like we have hooks like use effect. I am using a special U hooks crate, that third party, that gives me way more hooks, which is really nice. And then we have async code, so I have this was and bind gen stuff. But what I want is down here. So past all the logic, here's the HTML. So, okay, I have this next article button, and that is the button we're talking about right now. And so we want this to be potentially disabled, but let's, okay, go to the next article. So next article, if we take a look at it, yeah, here it is, this complete article. So let's, okay, so next article. So if I have an article, and I'm passing in this stuff, and it gives me back an article. So if there is an article that could be next, then return this. But I need to check to see if we're logged in. If we're not logged in, I want it to be disabled. Have I seen Deaxys yet? I've looked at some descriptions of Deaxys, and that's it. I have not dived into it yet. So my roadmap right now is I want to finish the LMS. I want to get a live course going, and then that would be like a paid course where you can pay to come in. It's a live course. It would be not streamed. It would be probably run through Discord. And then we can sell the courses that are coming out of that. And then once I get that done, opens me up. I can start doing any kind of projects that I want to. So like, hey, if there's like a demand for Deaxys, we can take a look at it, and if people want to see it, then we can make a course on it. Things like that. So it opens up a lot of options for me. But I have to finish this and then run a course and then reassess. But that's a long way of saying I haven't yet. I want to. Disabled. Okay, so I need to disable this if we're logged in. Now I have this store here. So I want to do logged in equals, okay, so store dot. Are you not going to help me? I'm always unsure when Rust Analyzer suddenly stops helping. I don't like that. Okay, so can I do it without the let? Can I do store? Like I know you have the type right there. It's right there. Store dot. Okay, fine. We'll go hunting. Main store. Okay, so in here we have user. Oh, but under main store, I have this logged in function. Okay, so that's all I need. Logged in, which I can get off of the main store. So I want to do let's logged in equals, okay, so store dot logged in. That should give me that. Oh, I know why it's yelling at me, because I did this inside. I didn't notice the return HTML here. Oh, yeah, that would do it. So I want to take you, put you in there. There we go. Okay, so move you out one more. Let's move you out like that and return there. Okay, I bet that's gonna that probably would have helped. Okay, so logged in that, and then I want, if we're it's going to be true if we're logged in. I want disabled to be the opposite of that. So disabled will be the reverse. Okay, so for BB button, let's go into YCL. For button, do I have it disabled? I do have it disabled. Okay. So disabled equals, I want it to be the opposite of logged in. And that's it. So that recompiles. If we come back to here, the complete article is disabled now. So if we rerun our tests, there, okay, so expects that this complete article is disabled. Nice. I can probably do something like have a wrapper around it to have like a tooltip on it to say, hey, if you want to do this, you need to like log in. You need to purchase the course in order to mark the articles as complete. The other thing is, should I have it like just not exist? I can also have the complete article not exist. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll leave it right now because this is a design decision, and then have people run through it and then tell me what they think, and get feedback on it instead of just me making things up. All right, let's run all of these tests. Okay, you're working on those browsers. Let's run all of you. You're working on those browsers, and so that way everything is working. Let's commit. Okay, so what do we got? We updated, so testing log in button and next article buttons are working as expected for visitors. And then before I push this, let's just run all the tests. Make sure I didn't break anything there. And this is just on main. That's fine. I'm the only one programming on this this repo anyway, so I can do some trunk-based development here. So Playwright did not used to have this nice nifty view. It was a CLI only tool for the longest time, and this year they pushed this out. I love it. This basically brings it up to better than Cypress in my opinion. And I think at this point that I can't really recommend Cypress anymore for integration testing. Okay, Firefox keeps on running into this thing where the debounce isn't working for password. It's like it's supposed to be 1 second. And it's supposed to be when it's typing in a password, it's a delay of 10 milliseconds per character. So it's weird that Firefox keeps on failing at that, and I rerun it and then it works. But that's where like I can tell Playwright to auto retry each time. So that's the best I could probably do right now. Uh-oh. What was that? The hardest bug you ever ran into came from a poorly documented Cypress option. Cypress iframes. Yeah. Oh, and sorry about that. I have links from places that I've not looked at, blocked right now using Nightbot, mostly because we've had some people come in and post really horrid links, and so we just turn that off unless it's to places that I know, or if you've like been here long enough that we recognize you and we turn you into a VIP or or their subscriber. Okay, so it's a blog post you wrote that might turn into a conference talk. Nice. I will add this. Okay, I'm gonna throw that into a notepad and go take a look at that sometime in the future. All right, so let's see, we got all this stuff. It's about 7 o'clock, so let me go ahead. Let's push this up. Status, we're just ahead. I've committed, so we'll just do a push. That will redeploy to production, but I didn't really, well, I guess I did change one thing on production, but it shouldn't be a huge difference. We're good to go there on everything else, so I think that's gonna be it. Let's see. Looking at who's streaming right now, Mo Ali is streaming. Mo has been working on a Rust CLI for Jira, I believe. Basically a wrapper to like control Jira from Rust. So, and looks like Mo is talking about Lambda functions. All right, well let's set up a raid to Mo. So I'll do raid to Mo. Start the raid. Yeah, Mo is good. Mo's raided us a few times too. Yeah, definitely want to pass this all around too. Okay, so I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, but I think most of you were not here for that. I do these streams every weekday morning, Monday through Friday. But on Wednesdays, it's a shorter stream because I have to go to like work in person, like, to actually travel outside the house, which is always interesting. I will, but tomorrow, so like Thursday, I'll be back and I'll be the normal longer stream. So I start at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, and then I usually go until around 8:45 a.m. So, it gives us a good 2.5 to 2.75 hours of quality streaming time. And we've been working on this, and we'll continue working on the testing until we got all the features that we're aware of done. Outside seems dangerous. I mean, yeah. Anyways, thank you everybody for hanging around. If you came with Togglebit, thank you for hanging around after that. Let's go have a great rest of our Wednesday, and I will see you all online next time. Bye.